In Cape Town, in the year 1965, two brave young women defied social norms by wearing miniskirts, leaving everyone amazed. While the streets were dominated by longer and more conservative traditional clothing, their boldness not only challenged conventions but also served as inspiration for other young women to question social restrictions imposed upon them. In 1967, an event of utmost importance made its mark on the history of the Boston Marathon. That year, a brave woman defied norms by deciding to participate in the competition, even though women were not officially allowed to run the marathon. This image became a turning point, a visual testament to the fight for gender equality and the transformative influence of sports as a platform to promote social change. During the races held in Melbourne in the year 1965, a remarkable and fearless event caught the attention of everyone present. English supermodel Jane Shrimpton made an unforgettable entrance at the event by wearing a garment that, for the time, would be considered scandalous, a mini dress. Maud Wagner, a pioneer as the first officially registered female tattoo artist, made a lasting impact by applying tattoos not only on others but also on her own body. She lived in a time when the art of tattooing was seen as unconventional and marginalized. Defying the social norms of her time, Maud chose to adorn her body with a wide variety of tattoos. In West Berlin, in 1953, an intriguing event sparked the curiosity of onlookers. Two students, who were cycling back home, were forced to change their attire due to the school's prohibition on wearing tight pants, checked pants, and shorts. Elizabeth Eckford gained notoriety as one of the African-American students who played a crucial role in the racial integration movement of schools in the United States. In a historic event in 1957, she became one of the first black students to bravely pave the way and attend classes at a formerly all-white school. Billie Jean King is a renowned former professional tennis player whose notable record of achievements at the Wimbledon tournament is widely recognized. However, her legacy goes beyond the tennis courts. She is significantly remembered for her engagement and tireless activism for gender equality in the world of tennis. Throughout her career, Billie Jean King took a stand and fought tirelessly for justice, advocating for equal opportunities and pay for female tennis players. Maria Teresa de Filippis is a notable Italian racing driver whose legacy has left a mark in the history of motorsports. She achieved an extraordinary feat by becoming a trailblazer as the first woman to compete in the pinnacle of world motorsport, Formula One. Her courage and skill on the tracks paved the way for other women aspiring to pursue careers in the automotive sport. Cinda Berenson, an American athlete, played a pioneering and influential role in the development of women's basketball. She is recognized as the founder of the sport, adapting the established rules of men's basketball since 1891 to meet the specific needs of women, considering the physical differences and skills present. Hedy Lamarr is a famous American actress and inventor who challenged stereotypes associated with feminine beauty and scientific abilities. In addition to her remarkable acting career, she made significant contributions to the development of modern cellular communication through a revolutionary invention. Her pioneering work in this field had a lasting impact and was instrumental in the technological advancements we currently enjoy. In the 20th century, more specifically in 1906, an important milestone was established in the history of Britain, the women's suffrage movement. This movement emerged as a powerful social force, involving a courageous group of women determined to claim the right to vote and pursue equality in civil and political rights compared to men. In the year 1966, renowned French fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent caused a major stir in the fashion industry by presenting an innovative collection in which he introduced the tuxedo, a traditionally male garment, into the women's wardrobe. However, the models who walked the runway in suits often faced discrimination and restrictions in various establishments, such as restaurants and clubs, that did not allow their presence. In the year 1907, Annette Kellerman, a talented Australian professional swimmer, film actress, and writer, made a courageous decision to pose for a photo shoot wearing a swimsuit. This action, which may seem commonplace today, caused controversy and scandal at that time. Local authorities disapproved of the exposure of the female body and, deeming it indecent, arrested Kellerman and charged her with improper behavior. In the 1920s, in the United States, a special league was formed, consisting of individuals highly committed to preserving the morality of the time. They focused their efforts on combating the use of swimsuits that were considered indecent by the social standards of that era. In this context, a photograph captures actress Lila Lee wearing a swimsuit that followed the traditional fashion norms of the time. In the city of Chicago, in 1922, an incident occurred that caught the attention of local authorities. A woman was arrested for wearing a swimsuit that exposed her legs. Wearing a garment considered daring at the time was seen as a violation of moral standards and prevailing customs. Susan Kerr is a notable figure who deserves recognition for her significant contributions to the computer industry. In the 1980s, she stood out as a renowned artist, responsible for designing various fonts, logos, icons, and images for major companies such as Apple, Next, Microsoft, and IBM. Her work played a crucial role in shaping the visual identity of these companies. The image captures a scene from the 1980s, depicting girls wearing school uniforms and sporting hairstyles typical of that time. The subway seats, clearly distinct from what we are accustomed to seeing nowadays, are a striking feature of that era. It is fascinating to observe how culture and style have evolved over the years in the vibrant city that never sleeps. This photograph, taken on a beach in Iran a few months before the Islamic Revolution of 1979, depicts a scene where women are enjoying the sun and water. They are wearing swimsuits that, in present day, would be considered inappropriate or even prohibited due to restrictions imposed by Islamic religion. The image serves as a reminder of the social and cultural transformations that have occurred in the country since then. The image depicts a young female worker in an armament factory during World War II. During that time, there was an encouragement for women to enter the workforce to support the war efforts and fill the gaps left by men who went to the battlefield. The young welder represents the valuable contribution of women during this historical period. The photo depicts a woman celebrating her birthday in 1973 in Iran, wearing clothes characteristic of that time. At that occasion, these clothes were considered commonplace and socially accepted. However, after the Islamic Revolution of 1979, many of these garments came to be considered indecent and were prohibited by the new Islamic government. The image highlights the drastic change in the perception and regulation of women's clothing in the country. The photo portrays Helen, a Native American woman, working as a telephone switchboard operator in Montana in 1925. During that time, operators played a crucial role in manually connecting telephone calls. Helen was responsible for connecting wires and directing calls to the appropriate recipients. The image depicts an advertisement found in New York, possibly in the 1940s. The advertisement encourages people to adopt roller skates as a means of transportation for work, as a way to save gasoline during the war period. The campaign aimed to promote an alternative to the use of motor vehicles, which were scarce due to the demands of the war. In 1947, in California, a group of women belonging to the Women's Organization for the War on Styles organized a protest in front of a clothing store. The aim of the protest was to oppose the emerging trend of longer skirts and padded hips in women's fashion. The demonstration was a way to assert their right to choose clothing that suited their individual preferences and needs. In Alabama, in 1956, a significant event involving Rosa Parks took place. She was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a bus to a white passenger and instead chose to sit in the back of the vehicle. This act of individual resistance caught the attention and sparked the outrage of many people, initiating a historic movement for civil rights. Mary Quant is a famous British designer recognized for her innovative contributions to the fashion world. She played a crucial role in revolutionizing the way women dressed. One of her most iconic creations was the introduction of the miniskirt, a short garment that became a symbol of fashion in the 1960s. Paul Poiret was a renowned French fashion designer widely recognized for his revolutionary contributions to women's fashion in the early 20th century. His innovative and creative approach brought about significant change in clothing, freeing women from corsets and other restrictive elements that were common at the time. During World War II, Shirley Slade was one of approximately 1,000 women selected to join a group known as the Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP. An iconic photograph captured Shirley at the age of 22, displaying a determined expression as she wore a pilot's helmet, goggles, and gloves, ready to take off in her aircraft. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for our upcoming content.